NewGenGamers.com.
Hello everybody, and welcome to another one of the New Gen Gamers Console Wars of the Past series. Today we're taking a look at the Atari 5200. Hold on, let me zoom in because of that glare we got going on.
It's so shiny.
Yes, very shiny console. Now, you'll notice the big gaping hole there in the back. This held your controllers in place. There was actually a flap that goes over this, but seemed to have lost it. As you can see, it fits right in there. Maybe it centers them.
Now this system was designed mostly to compete with the Intellivision, so it has a lot of the features that the Intellivision had, such as being able to keep your controller on the system.
They thought Intellivision had it? Why can't we have that too?
But it makes the system very bulky and it's
overly large. Pick that sucker up for a second.
Yeah, this thing is massive.
It's a hulking beast is what it is.
Now let's look in comparison here with
its baby brother.
Its baby brother, the Atari 7800. You can see they used kind of the same silver styling, but they definitely slimmed down the hardware next time around.
Lay that sucker on top for a second. Yeah, it's about two 7800s, I think. Now, one of the main... let's take another look at... Alright, here's our power button. Simple interface here on the top of the console, just a power button. Alright, flip the up a little bit. And then we have our controller ports.
Different from the 2600 and the 7800, this system isn't compatible with anything else. Which
yeah, it pretty much just does its own thing. Now, underneath here we have the wires. See, as you see, everything... Now here we have the video cable. Now this will disattach. There's another model that has everything hardwired. And there's your power cord, which has a nice little wraparound piece at the bottom there. So you can just kind of wrap up all your...
This one's the TV cord.
That one's the TV cord.
And the removable one is the AC
cord.
Power supply.
Okay, I reversed that. But yeah, there was one model that came with a brick that ran both the television signal and the power signal through the same box, which constitutes a fire hazard in my book. Alright, now let's take a look at this this grand controller we have here. This is the infamous Atari 5200 controller. As you'll see, our joystick isn't centered as usual.
Back in the early 80s, at least for this system, you had to do it manually. I think that's centered.
It kind of looks centered. Now, one of the positives here is it has a start, a pause, and a reset button all on the controller instead of on the console, which is much different than the other systems that mainly employed all those functions on the console itself. Now we have two orange fire buttons on both sides. Well, you needed four on both sides. I'm not sure. We didn't exactly have a game that utilized all those buttons.
They're not all different either. It's not four different buttons, so I believe it's two different buttons.
Yeah, well, the one had me touch the bottom fire button, and I think it's top and bottom and not right and left. It's kind of confusing. But, I don't know, from the use we got out of it, we couldn't tell. And you have a numeric keypad.
Much like the Intellivision.
Which also employed overlays.
And unlike the Intellivision, the overlays in the numeric keypad were pretty much useless.
Yes, there were not many games that utilized it.
Huh, look at these great options. 1 to 2 players, game level. And the rest do nothing. And most of the games were this way because they were arcade games and they didn't have keypads.
They didn't need it. There had to be original software created for it to utilize the keypads.
Such as Star Raiders would use more of the numeric keys, but
as would football. But both of those were a little difficult to tear into. Now let's take a look at some of the games here. As you see, the noticeable colorful artwork on there.
in contrast to a 2600 cartridge, much bigger physically.
Yeah.
Looks about the same on the bottom.
Just wider, so there's room for more.
And what do we have back here?
A spot to put your overlay in.
Ooh.
That's kind of nifty.
And a hand grip to pull it out of the system.
Nice. Now, does it have an end label?
No, it does not.
Negatory on the end label. Okay. You'll see we have Defender, Kicks, or Quicks, however you want to pronounce that, Star Raiders, Galaxian, Football.
Now look at football here. We have a hologram.
Ooh.
So that you know it's an official Atari product and not some unlicensed filth,
The Atari seal of quality.
if you will.
Centipede, Super Breakout, Pac-Man, which was a much better version than the other Pac-Man.
Than the 2600 one. Yeah, this was a proper port.
Joust.
And all of these ports are really good ports, as we'll get into with this system. You can't say it didn't have a lack of good software.
Yeah, the software on this was actually pretty kicking. And we have some instructional manuals here. Here's one for football.
Now, when you watch the football video, we'll refer to the guy with the phallus as he ran, and
It's like Custer's Revenge.
yeah. Now here you'd see the overlay for football. You pick what type of game you have and how many players. Nice colorful manuals though. Lots of pages.
Yeah, definitely put a lot of work and detail
Scorecard.
into the manuals.
You know, they did a lot of things nice with this system.
It was definitely a nicer product, it seemed. Like, this was truly where the next step was going.
Unfortunately, they just took too many missteps with other aspects of the system.
And the one gleaming flaw.
That thing.
That thing. Yeah.
That was my major problem with this system. The controller is just you
Ass.
have to fight the controller, and it's really frustrating.
Oh, here's a nice box.
Here we see the box. Now this game's trackball compatible. We didn't have the trackball, but you could get a trackball that was like the arcade games.
Which would definitely play really well in Centipede. Now, we haven't tried a trackball, so we don't know how it actually controls, but anything's better than the 5200 controller.
Yeah. And here you get to
The
see
official Atari warranty.
You've got the poisoned mushrooms, the magic mushrooms. Look out for the fleas.
And we have Galaxian.
Galaxian. Now this one has the Atari hologram again.
On the box this time. Very nice. Very nice box art.
And this is where they started with the silver that would later carry on into the 7800 to differentiate it from the 2600 stuff.
And they went the silver and blue in this one.
But the 5200 was such a failure that they pretty much just carried a lot of this stuff back over to the 7800.
Yeah, it was basically, the 7800 felt like a more powerful 5200 with a few more bells and whistles.
Even the controller design, you can see, a lot of the same stuff. But
except that joystick centers.
It self-centers. You just have the one button here, but hey, that's all you need. You don't have the pointless keypad that does nothing.
You have the giant Atari logo that does nothing.
You can try pushing it if you want, but
you're just going to get more shiny. Now, one more thing I wanted to point out before we go here is this god-awful power brick. Now, it's not the biggest one we've ever seen, but that sucker is heavy. Really heavy. I'd say drop that on your table, but I don't want to break your table. So, this is our look at the Atari 5200. Enjoy, and give us some comments and some feedback.
And don't try this system. You will regret it.
Yes.
Just watch the videos.
Just watch the videos.
UJGamers.com